I'm 35. I'm married to James Walsh, and I have two beautiful girls, Jacqueline Walsh, who's going to be 16, and Julia, who's going to be 6. I grew up in Malvern, Long Island, and now me and my husband and my girls live in Oceanside. We've been here about 8 years. We love it, such a nice community.
My name is James Joseph Walsh. I live in Oceanside, New York. I was born and raised in Long Island, and now me and my family live in Oceanside. I have my wife Jennifer, my beautiful daughters Julia, who's going to be 6, Jacqueline, who's going to be 16.
Some of my earliest childhood memories were of, you know, my dad waking us up early on Saturday mornings to do yard work and clean the house. We had a very big piece of property. I spent all my summers in Greece. A lot of things went on from the time I was little. You know, I had a really good family, a lot of strict rules that I had growing up, but you know, all real good stuff that helped me to be a better parent.
I first met Jen in the summer of 8th grade. Me and my friends started hanging out with other kids we had met, and Jen was in their crowd. And from the time I met her, I knew, I liked her immediately.
We met very young, and we had some wonderful, wonderful memories of our childhood together.
She was similar to the other girls. I think what made her different was her family life. Her parents were very strict, and her mother always made a gigantic spread of food for dinner, and they would invite me to eat when I came and dropped her off, and it was just different. The food was different. It just seemed so happy, and you know, the whole family was always there. Over there, it was just like clockwork. Every night, 5 o'clock, it was dinner time. You know, whatever her curfew was at night, she had to be in. And it's just that they had such a respect for their, each other, that it was just seemed different to me. One thing led to another, and we started going out about a year later. We were in high school, and we were together through high school. And right after high school, we got married and had a kid. And then she couldn't take it no more, being away from her parents and her country. So I kind of felt like, she chose Greece and her family over me.
After we got married, we decided to have a baby, and it was just the most wonderful, joyous time in our life. But I was scared. I needed to be with my parents. I wanted to be. I wasn't sure what was going on. I was young, and I had made these decisions, to get married and to have a baby and to have this life that I wasn't sure about. So I went to Greece.
And she took my child and went to Greece. And I missed them, and 3 months later I went and visited them. And I understood why she went back. It was like a dream over there. Everything was gorgeous, people were friendly. It was a total different way of life than we're used to living.
We tried to work it out. We tried to see if maybe we could rekindle this love that we had had from when we were young.
And I fell in love with it also. And I got to see my daughter, and me and Jen we were always in love, but we kind of made it work from me going there and seeing what it was all about.
We always knew we loved each other, so we started to go to dinners to see if we could get this back together the way that we knew that it needed to be, and we did.
I miss everything about Greece. That's why we go back there every year, like clockwork. By the time as soon as we get back home here, we start counting down the days till we go back. It's just, to me, it's just like one big happy party every day. And to them, it's just normal normal family life. You get so much respect. The food is unbelievable. And everyone is just carefree and relaxed.
You know, like any people, they have problems, but we have church and we have each other and we have our children and our culture and our life. And my husband now he's part of my culture. It's gone within him now because of all the years of us being together and what he's experienced. So it's just great.
I wish we could live there year round. It's just a very relaxing place where, you know, people are just wonderful people there.
Jimmy has learned a lot about values from me and my family. From the time we were very young, I had a very different life. My rules were strict. I was home for dinner every night. I was home at 11 o'clock every night, even well, most of the people I knew were out much, much later. And Jimmy, even as teenagers, knew, like, this is different. So he admired and he thought, you know, and he had a very nice family also, but not the kind of rules and things that my family went by. And he admired and learned from it. And once we had children, we were able to instill that into our children about the kind of family that we are with each other.
I learned a lot of values by being around Jen and her family. They were a great family, always happy. Just a simple dinner was like a party. They were all very respectful of each other. They always yelled, but in a good way. Everyone yells to each other. It's funny. But even to this day, that's how my wife and my daughters talk. They just scream to each other. But the values I learned were just, you know, to always be there for your family, and that family is basically number one, and they do everything for each other, and everyone is close. There's no outsiders. They treat strangers like their family, and you know, I try to incorporate that in the way I live today.
Jimmy feels like he would never have had the values that if we weren't together, because he learned them from me and my family, and the way that we are together, and the way that now he is with our children.
I was very happy that I was able to fall into this Greek culture, because it's really changed my life and opened my eyes to, you know, the ways families should be. It's just a wonderful people, and you know, being in Greece, not only around my wife's family, but it seemed like all the other families were the same. And I try to take any of those things back home that I can, and try to live my life like they live theirs.
You can't explain someone to Greece. You have to go. You have to go, and he did, and he absolutely just took so much from it. So much from of our lives now are based on the years that we go to Greece and the kind of life that they live, and we try to be, in some sense, try to be that way, because it's just a wonderful, beautiful place, as you know, as anyone who's ever been there knows.
I learned a lot of things from Greece. I've learned anything from roasting a lamb to sailing, riding a motorbike, which can be very dangerous in Greece. I learned dancing, like the Zembekiko, and geez, I don't know, there's so many things. I would definitely recommend, if you haven't been to Greece, you have to experience it. I've experienced it, I guess about 14, 15 years now, and I couldn't imagine my life without ever have gone there. I feel like it's changed my life. So, if you haven't been there, go.